Hey everybody, Elisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day, hot on the heels of my, ooh, she's waking up. You saw the end of my last video, I said maybe she'll wake up, we will wake her up. Nope. I guess not. She's a little wiped out from her big journey to the city. She's resting up from her morning brunch at the cafe at the sidewalk, sitting outside of the sidewalk restaurant. The outdoor seating at the restaurant where my dad and I go. It's a diner basically, and we took her. And so I think she's a little knocked out from the adventure, but I have just made a previous video and I said I was hoping to do a second one, and we'll see. It's going to be longer what I'm hoping to do. I normally tend to try to do a Vera Bradley bag of the day, all the Vera at Dad's video when I'm here, but I've been spending more time at my dad's and that might continue. And so I brought some Vera to keep here. And so I thought I would try to run down all the Vera I'm keeping at Dad's now. And I keep looking over here because I have it all piled up because it's in this bin, but it's sort of exploding out of the bin. But I was thinking it would be nice to show the bin because originally I transported them in this bin, and they were just, it's basically, I'm just going to do the bags. I mean, I have some other things with me, but I'm just going to do the shoulder bag type things, which I had managed to basically flatten out and condense into this tub. And so maybe I can show the tub at the end, but now they're sort of, I've taken them out of the tub a little bit, so they've got their shape back, so they don't quite fit in there anymore without me pressing them down. But anyway, a lot of this, the bulk of this is my custom stuff, with a handful of other unicorns that I just felt like I wanted to have here. So I'll just start with, this is in no particular order. I do think this was probably towards the bottom of the bin. I think I tended to try to put my favorites more up top. This was one of my earlier customs. This was a Vera tote. They're not offering these fabrics anymore, and some people may be aware, and they've changed some things in the custom section now, and they're not letting you do the piping on the bags anymore, the Vera totes anymore. Very disappointing. I mean, they're giving you less and they're still charging you exorbitant prices. So I don't see myself ever doing, I mean, unless they return things to the way that they were, I don't see myself doing any more custom Vera totes, period. It's just not worth the money. It would have to be some kind of fantastic fabric for me to eat those words and make another Vera tote. Anyway, this is Itsy Ditsy Navy Creatures. This is Itsy Ditsy Navy for the pocket and the straps. And the piping, again, which they're not offering anymore, was indigo microfiber. I tend not to mix it up so much with the pocket varying from the body of the bag, but I do like it here. And the inside was Cloud Vines Multi. Love that fabric. So bummed that I didn't get a chance to do a tote with that on the outside before they pulled it. I do have some custom embroidery in there that I do. I always like to do that. Something that makes it unique, you know, helps make it more unique. So that was one. Okay, this is gonna get messy behind me, I'm sure. Let's get the phone out of the way. Okay, another custom Halloween, the dog's Halloween print, and I think that it's just dogs inside and out, because I just wanted as many dogs as possible, and I think it was granite gray is the trim. Very pleased with the way it came out. So, and there is some embroidery again in here for Duke. So almost always for Duke. That's such a line drawing I did from an image of Duke that I had. So happy to get that, you know. Spooky Cats custom again. Same thing. I did do the bird cage, the coordinating lining there, because I'm not as much of a cat person as I am a dog person, so I felt like I could mix it up and didn't have to feel the need to have cats everywhere. And I do like birds, so you know, it's that cute bird cage lining with the birds in there. Again, granite trim. These are, again, all Vera totes. This is one of the rare Vera totes where I didn't do anything custom inside. I couldn't think of anything to do when I ordered this one, but I'll get to something else where I finally had a thought that I should have done in here as well. But no custom in there, anywhere on here. And I'm okay with that. It's just for the fabric. Everyone wanted that fabric, and people probably know all the craziness that surrounded that release in the customs. Again, custom, God, I never remember what this is called. I want to say Paisley Wave Fish Turquoise. Rolls off your tongue. Anyway, I had really wanted a hermit crabs here. I did get one up here, which is nice. And a little one there. I just love the blue, anything tropical, anything water-based, so water, themed. So this was a no-brainer for me, and I didn't want to regret it. So I was hesitating about it, but I didn't want to regret it, not getting it. So I went for it. I'm glad I did. I don't know if there's any. Oh, I did do personalization in here. Lining is the same. I don't remember the name of this. Bahama. I don't know. I always want to say Bahama Breeze, which is a restaurant chain. So I don't think that's what this is called. I don't remember. But it's not. Well, now they're not doing piping at all. But before they did away with all the piping options, they had seriously, narrowed it down, and you only had a real small handful of colors to pick from, and this wasn't one of them anymore. I don't remember what it was called. Did do the same embroidery template for this one as in the previous. Okay. Next, Itsy Ditsy. I just love this Itsy Ditsy so much that having it just as a pocket wasn't enough for me. I wanted a bag with it. So Itsy Ditsy navy. The straps are Cloudvine multi, and the piping was the indigo microfiber, and the lining also Cloudvine multi. Gorgeous pattern. So again, so disappointed I didn't get a tote in that on the outside, and a different Duke themed embroidery template there. Love this bag. The pile is getting tall. Custom Foxwood blue. Again, these are all Vera totes. There are a couple of non-Vera tote things in here. We'll get to them. Foxwood blue. Straps are Foxwood Menagerie blue, and this was when they had narrowed down the trim options, so I went with, they didn't have indigo trim anymore, microfiber, which is what I would have done, and I hadn't tried the navy yet, and so the navy microfiber option, and I was nervous about it, but I think it would have looked great, but I did denim, and I think it looks good. I'm pleased with it, so, and more than anything, just, pleased to get a fox there. I've shown this bag before, and I do feel very lucky that I also got a fox on the back. I mean, I don't know what the odds are. You wouldn't have thought they would be good. So I feel very lucky. And then I ordered this bag because I decided to take a chance on this bag because they had announced they were going to remove the fabric from the custom section. The chipmunk. So I decided to go for it, knowing it was a big gamble, what you're going to get. You want a fox. If you want a fox, it's a gamble. And I was trying to talk myself into thinking, well, it doesn't matter if I get a fox. It's still pretty and I'll still like it. Yeah. Yeah, right. So very grateful that I got a fox. On the inside, also Foxwood Menagerie Blue with a template that is in my father's handwriting, and I decided to use it for this particular bag because I wanted it to coordinate with the first ever custom bag that I did that I had my dad make this template for, and so I wanted to sort of have those two be like bookends. And I will show that bag. It's in the pile. This was the custom tote that I did decide to try the navy trim on, and I would recommend that highly if, it was still a feature that they were offering in the custom, but they're not. It's like just when you get into something, then they just yank it away from you. This is Java Olive. I feel like these any play on the original Java Blue is appealing. I mean, you may not like every color combo, but I feel like they could release one every year and it would just be a moneymaker for them. It's like a good income stream, guaranteed sort of income stream. It's a great classic pattern. This is just in navy. The pattern itself is in navy on that olive background. The straps here were Java purple from the custom. That fabric's still in the custom. It's just that I would love to get a tote in that overall, but not without the piping. Not worth the money. Or if you're going to remove a feature like that, you're going to remove the piping, then lower the price because you're giving people less. You shouldn't charge them the same. So that seems a little shady. Still not up. Oh, maybe she'll start snoring too. Did you hear that little snort? No. Anyway, again, the drawing of Duke, just the drawing here. I like that. I don't know if this may have been the first time I decided to just try the drawing alone, and felt like it popped nicely when it got bigger, because I wasn't accommodating for text. So you can see the Java purple lining there. This is probably one of my softer. This and Foxwood Blue are probably my softest custom totes, just like right out of the box. And I would say the stiffest one is probably that paisley, the fish one, the paisley wave turquoise fish. This is not a custom, but this is the subject of a recent video. This is the All the Vera tote. I do talk about this. Important tote to me for emotional reasons, sentimental reasons, in addition to loving the pattern. But this is here now. I mean, I might take this back and forth with me. I sort of rotate, always sort of carrying one or two back and forth with me to lug stuff. So that's one that goes back and forth a bit because it just has a lot of meaning to me. Okay. This was my first ever custom, important to me bag, so I thought I would leave it here. Foxwood, outside is all Foxwood Menagerie Blue. Indigo microfiber trim, and this is the first custom I ever did. This was, I think, maybe around the end of 2019. I don't know. It's because Duke had just passed away, and so I was grieving, and I was trying to comfort myself, and so I got this bag. The inside is the Foxwood Blue to coordinate, and there's that embroidery, same template, my father's handwriting commemorating Duke. And so that's why I kind of wanted this one to have since the patterns, the fabrics are the same, just used differently, I wanted that same embroidery. I thought that relationship would be nice. So yeah, my first ever custom bag, love it. Okay, then now we get to more standard stuff. Just love rainforest canopy, so I figured I'll leave this one here. This is recycled wonky top edge bag. But I do like this pattern a lot. And I like, you know, I'm always trying to get, you know, some kind of critter on the front if there's critters in that pattern, and there are birds in this pattern, but this does not have. I got this for sale at the, I think it was like 20 to 30 bucks on sale at the factory outlet store. And so they had limited quantity, you know, it was like one or two there, and they didn't have any with a bird on the front pocket. But I like the overall, there are birds on the bag, and I do like the overall look of it because there's not a lot of orange. This orange leaf here is probably one of my least favorite parts of the pattern. Also these sort of long khaki leaves, very solid looking. I don't like them. I feel like it's kind of like a dead spot in the pattern. Unfortunately it's there, but I do really love this and this and these, so it sort of makes up for it there. But I didn't want too many. There was another bag there that the way the fabric was cut, you got a lot of these orange leaves, and it really changed the whole color feel of the whole thing. And I wanted it to look more blue. I wanted it to look cooler, the tones to look cooler overall. And when you had too much orange in there, it was sort of messing with that for me. So I was pleased for this one. And there are birds throughout, so I like this bag. You know, I don't mind getting a recycled bag if it's only going to be, you know, $25. Oh, this is new-ish fabric, and new style. I'm sorry I'm not sitting in a spot where I could put it on and model it. Maybe if I ever have reason to put it in another video, I can stand up with it. But it basically looks like, this is the bucket bag, a new style, morning shells. See, I remembered Peggy. This is kind of like the Carson mini hobo bag that they used to make, which I ordered. I wanted to like, but I couldn't get on board with because of that awful metal top zipper. And so now we've got a soft plastic zipper, so that's much better. I don't know how it compares in size exactly, but it is comparable. And the reason I know that is because I had ordered a Carson mini hobo, and I had packed it up with my stuff, and I had, you know, I just couldn't get past the zipper, and so I returned it. But it packs up in a similar way. I can get the same stuff in there, so I know it's a comparable size to that. I like that there's not a lot of, there aren't pockets or aren't straps cutting over the body of the bag. You know, you can just appreciate a bit of the pattern here. That's why I like this, the Carson Hobo and the Carson, one of the reasons I like the Carson Hobo. And I, you know, was considering the mini version. There is this cell phone pocket here, but my phone, I mean, yeah, the phone is right there. It's right there. I have an iPhone 11. So I feel like there's not a lot of, it's not a very generously sized cell phone pocket, and I'm concerned that if I were to be wearing this bag and bend over or something, it might slip out. So I tend not to keep my cell phone in here. I use it for other things, but not my cell phone. Inside on one wall, there's these two somewhat small slip pockets. Let's see how the phone fits in there. Yeah. See, the phone sort of sticks out. That's okay. I mean, that's where I keep it when I have it in there. And then on the other wall is this zipper pocket, a coordinating lining, an adjustable strap. This pattern is nice. I mean, for anyone who likes seashells, which I do, and the ocean and beach, and, you know, this would be right up your alley. What I do think is interesting about this particular pattern, you can see even the background tone is nice because there's, you know, there's design in there. It's not just a solid color. You can see that. But what I like about the way the shells look is that they look like they're painted in gouache, which for people who might not know is sort of like a slightly more opaque watercolor pigment. That's what it looks like to me, especially this, you know, these shells where there's a little bit more solid areas of color. There. Do like that. All of this like that. That's like a nice classic kind of conch shell there. Anyway, very happy with that. I'm not crazy about the lining. This lining really doesn't do much for me, but I do like the exterior. I didn't feel like I could see myself carrying this in a big Vera tote, though. It was a lot. It's a real commitment to shells. And I brought this here. This is one of my, I know, Amber, that girl, I still haven't done the 5. If I can only keep 5 Vera bags, which would I keep? But this would be on the list. Unfortunately, it would take up space on the list. I will get to that video eventually. It's just fills me with dread to have to pick my Vera. Hadley on the Go Satchel, which is a good crossbody bag, although I have futzed around with the straps to carry it on my shoulder. You can carry it as a shoulder bag too. And this was Butterfly Flutter, was a breast cancer pattern. This is my favorite crossbody bag, but this particular bag was the one that has emotional value for me. I've said this before in videos, because this is the one that I took with me to a lot of vet appointments when Duke was dying. So that's an important bag for me. And I brought this one. This was a major unicorn find for me. Vera tote in Quilt Floral, which was the first Vera Bradley and QuiltCon collaboration pattern, which they only seem to have done 2 of. They're only doing 2 of, it seems like. I'm really sorry to see that this didn't continue, this collaboration, for, over the long haul, because I think it would have been, very collectible. But very pleased to find this, because I missed out on it when it was released. Just sort of spaced out and then regretted it immediately, and then went on the hunt for it, and it took me a long time to find. So very pleased with this. Thing's beautiful, beautiful colors. So lavender, very feminine, very pretty. This is the inside. This has denim trim. This is what sort of made me brave enough to do denim trim on any customs, and which I realize one of them is not in the pile, but it goes back and forth, but way back, you probably can't see it now. You can't see it, but I do have one of my big cats, Meow custom Vera tote, and I decided to do denim trim on that, and it was this bag that gave me the courage to do that, because I could see how denim trim looked. So very, very pleased to have that bag. And again, another, highly collectible bag that I feel like should always come with me no matter where I am. I don't want to let it out of my sight. This is a Cat's Meow. Vera tote was a limited edition. People know that, I know. I did buy this from the store. I was able to use a coupon on it, amazingly enough. So it was the last one they had, and I wasn't sure I should get it. And I said, all right, I'll get it. And I'm glad I did, because now I'd be looking at paying like $400 plus, right, on eBay to try to get that. It's ridiculous. So now maybe I can lift up the bin to show what I had them all in. I had all of this stuff sort of flattened into a bin like this. It has a cover, which I don't have, it's over there. It's over there. But it has a cover that snaps on. I got it at Target. Then I have this in there, the Unity tote. Everyone calls this the Unity tote, but I don't have the tag and easy access, but it actually was just called, I think, a small Vera. And the pattern was like Unity tie-dye or something like that. The pattern was where the word Unity was used, and so that's where the lingo came from, and people are calling it the Unity tote. I think this was done in a February. I don't remember what year. Maybe a few years ago, to commemorate women of color, and so that's a nice message. And it's a little unusual for a Vera tote. It's got the small Vera or a Vera, but it's got this larger zip pocket on the front rather than having straps running down the body of the bag. And I could see why maybe they would want to do that, so to really highlight the tie-dye circular shapes in there. Black and white, unusual, right? Monochromatic. Do not adjust your television set. What I started to notice, and I will try to show the lining too, because the lining is interesting, is that this bag sort of made me pay attention to the quilt stitching a little bit more, the color of the quilt stitching a little bit more, because you really could see the contrast with the black thread against the lighter areas of the pattern. And I really like that. It provides another layer, like design element on top of these swirls, right? In contrast to this swirliness, there's this rigid grid-like stitching on top of it. And I think that contrast is interesting. And so it's made me sort of look at pay attention more to the stitching when it contrasts with the colors in the fabric. And I'm liking that. Like it happens here too, in the Bradley tote, because you can see the darker stitching over the lighter flowers. And so now I've become more aware of that, sort of more sensitive to that in a good way. And I like that contrast sometimes, and it's happening here. This is a nice tote, very soft. I tend not to like small Veras. They tend to be a little small for me. But I, again, found this at a factory outlet store. I don't remember how much it was. Super good price. I mean, $30. I mean, maybe $35. I can't remember now. Maybe less. But under 40. So it seemed like, a good deal and something, you wouldn't normally, at least in my outlet store, something you wouldn't normally find, because they haven't been having good signature stuff there for a long time. The inside fabric is interesting because it sort of has that rendering like ikat, where ikat fabrics are woven and they end up having this sort of vertical, jagged look to them. This is printed, the ikat pattern is printed, but it's not an ikat pattern, but I mean that style, it's sort of harking back to that kind of style, but it's paisley shapes, which is nice because, right, that sort of speaks to the history of the brand with the paisleys. So I like that on this tote, right? It seems like it's a tote that has some symbolism to it, so you would want to do something with the lining too that's not just a throwaway, that has some meaning. This hat has a hidden slip pocket up there. Do love this big zipper pocket on the outside. If the small Vera tote was styled like this regularly, I probably would buy more of them. Still not really up. And getting down to the bottom here, this is the custom small Vera tote in Spooky Cats. I just felt like before they pulled that fabric, I wanted to get a small Vera tote in this because I always regretted not getting the Cat's Meow limited edition small Vera tote. And I didn't want to feel that way. And I'm glad I did it because they then did pull the fabric from the custom section. I mean, maybe they'll bring it back every Halloween. That would be nice. But I did, by this time I had figured, what could I have done, what could I do related to cats? So I don't have a cat, that I would be doing embroidery about. I see. So you woke up to create trouble in the video by growling? I'm 10 stories up off the ground, off the street level, and she's growling at some dog she hears out there. You up now, Mama? Okay, so in here I do have custom embroidery, and it is the first line of a poem in T.S. Eliot's book, I'm never going to remember the name of this book, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. Is that what the name of that T.S. Eliot book is with all the poetry about cats that they based the musical Cats off of. I may not have that book title right, but that's what this embroidery is a line from the poem The Naming of Cats, and it says the naming of cats is a difficult matter, and then I just did an ellipsis point because I couldn't fit any more, I couldn't fit another good like line of the poem in there in its entirety, so I just went with that first thought. So a cat's inside too. I decided to do cats on the outside and the inside here. And again, the granite gray trim. And one of these, this is the Carson North-South Tote in Dragon Fruit Floral, one of my favorite bags and one of my favorite patterns. So this combination is, just like heaven for me. And I do have a couple of these that I got in for a really good price, like in the between $20 and $30 in online outlet sales, because they were good prices, and I felt like, well, what if something happens to one of them? So I'll have another one. So I'm keeping one here. That's what this is. And last bag, drums please. The Tic Tac Tote in Java Blue. The original Java. Where's my Java? Oh God. Let's hold up my Java navy here. Oh no, Java olive. To compare. This is the original Java Blue Tic Tac Tote, the large Tic Tac Tote. I don't like the small one. It's too small for me. This is one of those oldies but goodies. You can see the quilted wall of the bag with the coordinating interior pattern on it. Removable cardboard base under that piece of fabric there, and some hanging pockets, quilted, also quilted. There. Toggle closure, but they did do a version of this with a zipper. I have one in Petal Paisley, I think, has a zipper up top. I do prefer it without the zipper, but oddly. And nice use of trim. This is the smaller trim version. If you have other bags, maybe people have other bags like the Morgan, which I have, has that wide band of trim up top, and that's a different motif than this narrower band of trim, but still nice to have trim, and it's a good use of it. Still looks a little bit modern because of that grid-like use of it. It's like having a big pieces of ribbon going across your bag. So that was it. That was my last one. And this is not all the Vera I have here. Obviously, there's Vera in the background. Some backpacks I travel back and forth with, and I have some little accessories and stuff, but maybe that's for another video, because I see I'm at about a half an hour. That's not bad for a rundown of so many bags. So anyway, I hope people found that a little fun and enjoyable, just the list of all the Vera shoulder bags I'm basically keeping at Dad's now with Pixie. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day. Oh, that's my Pixie pop.